Broadcasts of HIKI NŌ are made possible by the support of viewers like you. Mahalo. And by Bank of Hawaii Foundation, investing in Hawaii's future by promoting collaboration, critical thinking, and other 21st century skills through HIKI NŌ.
Aloha, I'm Rebecca Meyer, a HIKI NŌ student from Sacred Hearts Academy in the Kaimukī district of Oahu. I just finished my junior year there.
And I'm Shelby Matos, a HIKI NŌ student who also just wrapped up my junior year at Sacred Hearts.
Welcome to this special edition of HIKI NŌ. In it, we'll be featuring some of the top stories from the spring quarter of the 2017-2018 school year.
The standout stories included in this lineup all have one thing in common. Not surprisingly, that common element is something inherent to good dramatic storytelling. All of these stories follow people, and in one case, a dog, that are undergoing a significant change in their lives.
Observing characters that are dealing with change is the engine that drives good storytelling, and each of the stories we'll be featuring has developed a finely tuned storytelling engine.
We think you'll be impressed with our HIKI NŌ storytellers' ability to capture the essence of the change that their characters are experiencing.
Our first story is about an IT professional who decided to make a midlife career change. Ironically, that change has brought him closer to his parents' plantation roots, but in a very 21st century way. From the students at Maui Waena Intermediate School in Kahului, here is Aquaponics Farmer.
Well, the recycle stores.
My name is Larry Yanoshiro, and I'm an urban farmer doing providing certified organic produce from my aquaponic farm in my backyard.
Larry and Patty Yanoshiro began an urban style of farming called aquaponics 8 years ago with a vision to provide fresh, locally grown produce and to promote the aquaponic industry. While many people farm to earn a living, Mr. Yanoshiro, a veteran IT worker, started this new beginning to bring back the roots of his past.
I was getting close to retirement from my regular job, which I spent 30 years doing. I wanted to be outside because I was raised in Hawaii. I was raised in a plantation camp. My father was a sharecropper. They used to grow pineapples. And so, agriculture has been a part of my family for a long time. I just had it in my blood. I wanted to go back to farming. Because I've been in an air-conditioned room for 30 years, I wasn't used to the back-breaking work of farming in the soil, which is really hard work. And I was looking for an easy way to farm, and to think that I could raise fish and grow vegetables in my backyard, it was just amazing. I think a lot of people in Hawaii would like to do that. Just to walk outside in your backyard, work out in the sunshine and fresh air, feed the fishes who come up to you and they look at you in the face and you're feeding them. And you see these plants thriving because fish water is one of the best fertilizers for plants. And just having a lot of greenery and nature and being outside in the sunshine is a real plus. That's why I do it. As anyone who's tried it knows that there's a lot of experimentation and a lot of problems. So the first few years, I say 3 years, was learning, making mistakes and correcting them. So basically, and we're still learning. It's something that we're constantly learning. And it's a lot of fun.
Despite the challenges that come with this lifestyle, his family is always there to lend a hand.
One person is really hard to do it, by yourself. For me, I'm really fortunate to have my wife who supports it, really supports what I'm doing. I wouldn't be able to do it without her support. And it's also good that you have more than one person, because when you're just thinking through solutions by yourself, you kind of get locked in because you're the only person that you can talk to, right? But if you have another person to talk to, it clarifies the solution. And with the addition of my daughter who just came over, her background is food science, so she has a lot of and quality control. So all of her background adds to what we're trying to do here. So the more people in the family that comes down to help, the better.
And with the help of his family, Larry hopes to accomplish his end goal of contributing to and growing the aquaponic industry to provide enough locally grown food to sustain the island of Maui.
To perfect or to improve the utilization of the concept of aquaponics, to try and make that more mainstream. Right now it's such a novelty. A lot of people do it in different ways, and a lot of people have strong opinions about how to do this versus how they're doing it. So to make this type of farming more acceptable to the community, because being a small farm, we need a lot of farmers doing what we're doing to supply enough food for the community on this island.
Not only has this local farm grown fresh produce, but it's also grown a family and community. This is Hannah Okamoto from Maui Waena Intermediate School for HIKI NŌ.
When you aspire to something that flies in the face of convention, the change you undergo can be a challenge, not just for yourself, but also for the important people in your life. The following story is about a young woman whose decision to pursue her dream caused others to change. From Waena Intermediate School in West Oahu, here is A Dream Come True.
Write it down.
Lehalea was a kicker for the Kamehameha schools throughout the 2017 high school football season.
Ever since I was a little girl growing up, I was always surrounded in the atmosphere of football, and that's what planted the seed in me to love the game this much, enough to make me actually want to strap on the helmet and actually play.
We wanted Leigh to join the team because we always knew that it was her dream to play football, and for her to come out senior year, and we were just really encouraging of her to come out.
I had doubts on how she was going to be in the beginning, and as she progressed, she got a lot better.
In order to play football, she had to get her parents to agree.
I didn't say yes. Leigh and her mom went behind my back, had her try out for the football team, and when she made the team, then they decided to tell me that she was playing football.
I told my husband, who are we as parents to say if Lehalea can or cannot play football? And just said, we'll just leave it up to the coaches and let them decide if she's good enough for the team.
Throughout the 2017 football season, Lehalea Ponui was a kicker for the Kamehameha Schools Warriors varsity football team.
Saturday practices, kickers, you don't really have to show up, but I come anyway because, my boys have to do it, so I gotta do it too.
Now with the season behind her, Lehalea doesn't have to look too hard to find her helpers.
Your deadlines is all approaching, so you need to start looking at all of these college apps.
Definitely with the help of my teammates, having a football team in general wouldn't have been possible if I didn't have a team like I did. My coaches have definitely helped me get better in kicking, my mechanics and techniques, and without Coach Albu's help by actually letting me be on the team, this dream would have come true as well. The support from my family and friends from start to end has definitely uplifted me and allowed me to make this dream come true for me as well.
It's an amazing feeling, seeing my daughter on the field, playing football, and hearing the spectators just cheering her on.
Now that she's lived her dream, Lehalea is looking to assist others.
If you love something and you're passionate about it, I would definitely think you should go for it 110% with all your heart, because you don't want to look back 10 years later and say that you regret it. You just gotta, life is too short to have any regrets.
This is Franchelle Megodoy from Waena Intermediate School for HIKI NŌ.
The change from student to career professional is a long and complex process. And in this highly competitive world, it seems that you can't begin this process soon enough. It also appears that having mentors to guide you along the way is a big help. The following story by journalism students at my school, Sacred Hearts Academy, is about our career mentoring program known as Girls Got Grit, featuring my co-host and friend, Shelby Matos.
Okay, go to the top row, all the way to the right. Okay, now come down a little bit and go to the left.
When Shelby Matos isn't busy studying, the Sacred Hearts Academy Junior is working hard at the TV news station, Hawaii News Now.
Push those until you see breaking news pop up.
She's part of a mentorship program called Girls Got Grit, which empowers students at the Academy to get a head start on becoming leaders in their community.
Being in Girls Got Grit allows students to enter a professional business environment, and doing that kind of sets a level of expectations for when we enter the workforce. and it also kind of builds us as businesswomen, and so I feel confident to sell myself and sell something in the future, and so I feel like that will help me in the long run.
Students get a taste of what it's like to pursue a career before they enter the workforce. Others have interned at Castle Medical Center and Alexander and Baldwin.
They're partnered with mentors, prominent women in the community. They learn about work ethics, about how to write a business proposal, grouping these girls with various companies in the community, and for them to intern at their place of work to see all the different facets and opportunities that that company provides.
As Vice President of Saks Fifth Avenue in Hawaii and mother of 2 Sacred Hearts Academy students, Mrs. Shelley Kramer says success all comes down to grit.
It has nothing to do with IQ. It's about the passion you have within yourself to become great. And so I thought that that would be an amazing word to use, hence Girls Got Grit.
You guys can have a food contest.
I want these girls to come out strong, empowered, and feel that they have a network that they can touch. So after they graduate, if there's an opportunity to come home, they know who to connect with and how to come back into the community.
Shelby's already putting these lessons to good use, applying the skills she learned at her internship to her activities at school.
My favorite part had to be working with news because I'm the news editor for our school's newspaper, so that's kind of where I lie and where my heart is. Just talking with them and writing articles and just doing things that I loved kind of added the heart to it.
Shelby's among the first group of girls to kickstart the program. She admits she was scared at first because she did not know what to expect.
I applied to Girls Got Grit because I wanted to do something fun and new. And I feel like Girls Got Grit was something no one's ever heard of, and it was terrifying to sign up for it because the initial group had no idea what we were doing, so it was kind of fun to be the first group to do that.
Shelby says the program turned out to be one of the most valuable decisions of her high school career.
I could see myself working at Hawaii News now because they do so many things and they get to work with all the different departments, and especially because the community here is so loving and caring, and so it was so nice to see that, and I think I would love to enter with that.
Shelby learned the true meaning of grit and passion and is now inspired to help other girls discover their grit.
I'm going to pass down what I learned from GGG to the next group, and hopefully they'll be able to find as much passion as I have in the program. And it's just such an amazing experience to be able to talk to these professionals and see what they think and what happens in their lives.
This is Michaela Lancaster Hoover from Sacred Hearts Academy for HIKI NŌ.
Good job, Shelby.
Thank you.
Now, I know you and I have both had experience working behind the scenes of HIKI NŌ stories, but what's it like being the on-camera subject?
It's different because you're not able to edit the story, so you have to watch what you say. Now on to our next piece. Change doesn't only happen to people. It can also happen to inanimate objects and materials. Here's an example of how everyday ingredients can be transformed into a fun substance that will keep you entertained for hours. From Wheeler Middle School on Oahu, here is how to make slime.
So bored, I have nothing to do. We bet you've heard that before. Are you looking for a way to keep your kids occupied? If so, we have a solution for you. We are going to show you one of the hottest trends to hit Wheeler Middle School's campus in 2017. No, it isn't a fidget spinner. We're going to show you how to make basic slime.
Slime is squishy, but it isn't sticky. Kids can squeeze it, poke it, swirl it, and make bubbles to pop in it.
Basic slime is easy to make. Here is a recipe we found on pbs.org. You'll need 4 ounces of white glue. We recommend Elmer's White School Glue. A teaspoon of borax found in the detergent section of your store. Warm water and food coloring, a bowl for mixing, and a second small bowl. First, squeeze the glue into a bowl. Add the food coloring in drop by drop until you get the color you want. Be careful not to spill any because the coloring stains. Mix 1 teaspoon of borax and 1/2 cup of warm water in your second bowl. Then slowly add the solution to the glue mixture. Stir until the slime becomes thicker and starts to stick to your spoon. It's okay if you don't use all of the borax solution. Knead the slime. At first it'll be really wet and gooey, then stringy and sloppy until finally it will hold together. If you have sensitive skin, you can find recipes that use cornstarch or baking soda instead. My classmates and I have never had skin irritation. Ew! If you find your slime too sticky, add more borax. If it is too dry, add more water. Keep your slime in an airtight plastic container. If you need a temporary container, a sandwich bag will work. Don't drop it on the floor. It'll pick up everything, and it'll get gross. Fur is the worst. Believe us, we know from experience.
Slime doesn't take long to make and would be a fun activity to do with your family on the weekend or even after school. When you're done, everyone will have something to keep themselves occupied for hours.
This is Megan Clark reporting from Wheeler Middle School for HIKI NŌ.
The passage of time inevitably leads to change. And when people reach their golden years, they find that the physical changes that have occurred to their bodies require special attention. The following story by students at Kamehameha School's Maui Middle School is about a woman who has dedicated her life to giving seniors that attention.
Paula Keel is a fitness instructor who gives back to our community in a healthy way.
The program I'm doing is called Enhanced Fitness. It's a national evidence-based program for fitness for seniors.
Paula runs a program to help seniors and improve their health.
And take a breath. I teach this program at Kahului Union Church. We have 2 classes at Kahului Union Church, and we have 12 classes throughout Maui and on the island of Lanai. So my students have taught me patience, they've taught me kindness, they've just showed me how, they've set really great examples, almost like mentors, on how I can be better as I get older.
Paula has a personal reason for wanting to teach this workout program.
I started this particular program because my mother, first she broke her shoulder one time and she didn't keep doing therapy afterwards. And then it got to be where she couldn't move her shoulder anymore, and then she couldn't comb her hair and just do little things like that. I feel like I want to make a difference for people who are getting older, to be able to keep them independent, to keep them healthy and happy, and be able to be with their family as long as possible, where their family doesn't have to worry about them. So I really want to make sure that our seniors stay healthy as long as possible.
Back, 1. I was walking with a cane because I had fractured my knee while I was playing tennis. And so that has helped me. Now I can walk better. I don't need a cane because of all the exercise with Paula.
And release.
In order to continue improving the lives of her students, Paula looks for help from outside sources.
So we have to do a lot of work with the legislature to try and convince them how important the program is. And so one thing about having an evidence-based program is that we're able to actually show the improvement.
Paula Keel's hard work and accomplishments are reflected in the people she serves. This is Amaya Genovia from Kamehameha School's Maui Middle School for HIKI NŌ.
Learning to do something you've never done before is also a form of change, and it can be a very rewarding change, especially when it involves learning something that has a special cultural significance in your community. Here's an example of this sort of change from students at Dole Middle School in the Kalihi district of Oahu.
Tinigling is a traditional Filipino folk dance that originated during the Spanish colonial era in the 1500s when the Spaniards conquered the Philippines. It originated in Leyte, an island in the Visayas in central Philippines, and was named after a bird that locals refer to as tikling. The dance imitates the bird avoiding the bamboo traps set by farmers. The choreography can get complex for advanced dancers, but today we are going to show you the basic steps. You will need 2 small bamboo sticks about 3 feet long to serve as the base, and 2 bamboo poles that are about 8 to 9 feet long for the dancers to step over. On the first 2 claps, tap your right foot in the bamboo sticks 2 times. On the next set, put your right foot in, then your left foot, and you end up with your right foot outside of the sticks. Now repeat the steps but on the opposite side. Remember, pay attention and be sure to dance with the beat. Performing the tinigling is not only fun, but it helps to keep the traditions and culture of the Philippines alive. This is Diana Ramos from Dole Middle School for HIKI NŌ.
Sometimes an event that occurs within a split second can lead to months of the arduous change of recovery and rehabilitation. The following story by students at H.P. Baldwin High School on Maui shows that this sort of change, while grueling, can also lead to personal growth.
I woke up on that time and I couldn't breathe for like 10 seconds. It was hard for me to breathe because of the airbag.
On May 6, 2017, H.P. Baldwin High School student Jerome Rabao's life changed when he was hit by a drunk driver while driving on the Hanoa-Pi'ilani Highway on Maui.
God is good. I didn't get any surgeries. It was a miracle because I didn't have any more injuries except my left leg. It was really stuck on the car, and my arms, everything. I didn't even have a scratch or a cut from the shatter from the glass. The funny thing was that I kind of laughed because I was the worst one that got injured over there, and I was the last one to get out of the car.
Even though he faced a life or death situation, Jerome still had a positive outlook on life.
My doctors told me I couldn't do anything for at least 1 year. Can't even fold my leg, just keep it straight. I told myself that instead of waiting for that long, I'd rather just do this on my own. I would always work out, I would always do push-ups, and I would practice go walking back and forth inside the garage and outside. After the accident, I gained so much pounds and I got fat, and it was really hard for me because I couldn't do anything like play sports like basketball and go to the gym. The most important thing that I loved and would always do is work on cars. I would always clean cars, detail cars, or sometimes I would try to rotate, change oil on cars.
Jerome's life-changing experience did not stop him from continuing to participate in school activities, doing what he loves, and accomplishing his goals.
Since I started my high school, I joined for SAD Club, which stands for Students Against Destructive Decisions. I'm one of the officers, and recently every year we do DUIs or OUIs, and Stop If You Love Me campaign is try to teach them that drunk driving is not good. It's really hard to accept the fact that somebody injured or somebody could have killed you by just doing some recklessly stuff.
Despite all that he has been through, Jerome will continue to pursue his dream of becoming an auto mechanic and will be graduating with the Baldwin High School class of 2018. This is Leanne Binas from H.P. Baldwin High School for HIKI NŌ.
The hardships of homelessness expand beyond the human world into the world of pets. For one special dog found under a freeway overpass, the change from homelessness to finding a final, forever home was an amazing journey. Here is her story and the story of her puppies as told by students at Ewa Makai Middle School on Oahu.
We took Stella and her puppies in the afternoon, and by that evening, the puppies had taken a turn for the worst. I honestly believe that if we hadn't taken them that day, they would have all passed.
Working alongside with other companies around Oahu, Fur Angels makes it a point to help all the stray dogs they find out on the streets. Volunteers at Fur Angels work to find each and every canine their own and unique forever homes, and one of these dogs was Stella.
We were contacted by #SpeakUpMovement, who organized a bunch of different local nonprofit organizations to help out with the Nimitz 100 situation. Stella was part of the Nimitz 100 situation where there were a number of homeless encampments under the Nimitz Bridge, and they were being relocated, and so about 100 animals needed to be placed into foster care and find new homes. So Stella was part of that situation.
Underneath the Nimitz Bridge in Honolulu on the island of Oahu, there were lots of homeless encampments with many dogs who needed immediate care.
And at the time, she had just had a litter of puppies, all of which had parvo, which is a very deadly virus for puppies. And so she went directly into foster care with her pups. We found out that her puppies were in fact sick, so they went directly to the hospital and stayed there for a number of days.
Parvovirus is a life-threatening disease which kills about 15% of all puppies that get diagnosed. When Stella's puppies were first born, Fur Angel caretakers noticed that the pups seemed to lack energy and appetite. This led to further research and concluded that all were diagnosed with parvo. From the litter, only 2 out of 4 survived.
We decided to take Stella and her puppies because my fosters were able to take her and her 4 puppies at the time. It is a big undertaking taking a mother and her pups, but they were willing to take her. They're very eager. I think that we all knew that they needed help immediately, especially with the puppies. They're very vulnerable, and so we all felt that it was necessary to take them all at that time. And then once she was adopted, she transitioned very well to her new family. So it's been a couple months since she's been adopted, and she's doing wonderful in her new home.
But this isn't where the story ends. After finding new homes for each dog, Tiffany Kim and the team at Fur Angel Foundation make sure to keep in touch with all of the families to ensure all dogs have found their true forever home. As of 2018, Fur Angels has helped about 160 dogs on the island of Oahu, and the public can help them too.
You can contact us through our website, www.furangelfoundation.org, or we're also on social media on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
With the help and support of the foster, adoptive families, and volunteers, Fur Angels works hard to help our community. However, their work is far from over as there are many dogs who still need help. This is Ayana Sabuka from Evan Mackay Middle School for HIKI NŌ.
Thank you for joining us in the study of change, one of the key ingredients to dramatic storytelling.
I think you'll agree that each of these HIKI NŌ stories did an excellent job of using the element of change to propel their characters through a compelling, dramatic journey.
It's just another example of how HIKI NŌ is helping to develop the next generation of master storytellers.
Be sure to tune in next week to find more ways that Hawaii students HIKI NŌ
can do.
Broadcasts of HIKI NŌ are made possible by the support of viewers like you. Mahalo, and by Bank of Hawaii Foundation, investing in Hawaii's future by promoting collaboration, critical thinking, and other 21st century skills through HIKI NŌ.